Welcome in to PFF IQ. Austin Gayle here with Steve Palazzolo, ready to talk first and second year players that could land on our list of top 25 under 25 years old in future years. And I want to start with a guy I know you love, Kyler Murray.
Yeah, Kyler was our number one player on the draft board, and for a reason, not just because we thought, hey, he's the best quarterback, but we had him as the top player because he's going to, probably have the most value going forward. That's our projection on him. So we'll love the situation in Arizona. And when we're talking about the next group of young players, you have to start with Kyler Murray, number one, for a reason, because of his accuracy from the pocket and what he can do outside the pocket as well.
I want to speak more to that situation. They bring in Andy Isabella, our highest graded receiver this past year, and they also have Hakeem Butler, a guy I know you like as well, had him as one of my guys early in the process. That situation, those two guys with Cliff Kingsbury, you have to think the ceiling is high for him in year one.
Can't wait to see what Arizona does because of that combination. You throw in Christian Kirk from last year, so they have all these different style playmakers, of course, an aging Larry Fitzgerald, but he could play his own role. David Johnson coming back in the backfield. So those pieces around Kyler Murray, despite not having a great offensive line, that air raid could protect him a little bit. It's a nice situation for Kyler. Hopefully he gets comfortable early and shows off those skills.
I'm really excited to see what Cliff does with Andy Isabella. I think moving him around a little bit, he's great deep down the field. Kyler's a great deep thrower. I think that's a great situation for him. Moving to the defensive side of the ball, second-year player Bradley Chubb out of NC State with the Broncos now had a great year. Tied for the most pressures by a rookie edge defender in the PFF era. It's fantastic to see what he's done. I think you can expect great things in year two.
Yeah, and one of the things that we liked about Chubb coming out of NC State was his run defense, and I still think he has that in him. He wasn't great against the run last year, but as a pass rusher, had the volume, had the pressures. They kept him out there quite a bit. I don't think he's maybe that elite Myles Garrett type of edge rusher, but when you talk about being on this list and having that chance to take the next step next year, love what Bradley Chubb does because he is that true three-down player. They've dropped him into coverage a ton last year. It didn't always go great, but as far as his ability to just play the run on early downs, get after the passer, he did a really nice job. So, he wasn't. I don't know that, like I said, he's going to get to the Garrett or Joey Bosa type of level, but I could see him on this list in the future.
And I think he doesn't reach that level because he doesn't have that athleticism to turn the corner. He's not an athletic, freakishly explosive edge defender like we see at the top of the NFL now, but he's a bully. He wins with his hands. He can run through guys. I saw against Ronnie Stanley, a couple other top tackles, that he can bully through guys. Taking that next step starts with a better outside rush. Don't know if he gets there, but he's still a high-performing player, especially going into year two.
And he was on our just-missed list for this year as well. So that's why he's close. He's close for next year.
A guy that can get to that level, another edge defender, a rookie this year for the San Francisco 49ers, Nick Bosa. We see him on this top 25, under 25 list, probably for as long as he's under 25.
Yeah, the biggest thing with Bosa and just anybody coming from college to the NFL is our pass rush grades translate extremely well. That's why we had a little bit of hesitancy with Bradley Chubb. We don't have that with Nick Bosa. We saw his brother Joey translate. We saw Myles Garrett translate. I keep coming back to those guys because we saw what they did in college, and then it went to the NFL, and it carried over. They could win inside, outside. They can win with power. Nick Bosa has all of those tools in the toolbox. He'll get plenty of opportunities with the 49ers as well, and they'll feature him because they don't have anybody else. They added D Ford, but they don't have anyone else to complement him. They're going to rely on that four-man rush. Plenty of opportunities for Nick Bosa to win.
You look at these pass rush grades, and I'm glad you spoke to how they translate in the NFL. This guy had a higher pass rush grade as a true freshman than Brian Burns, Clelin Ferrell, other top edge defenders had in their best years in college. This guy is a freak. The grades say so. I'm excited to see him play in San Francisco. Moving to another rookie, another defensive player, defensive interior, Quinnen Williams. I think the fit in New York is great. They land another fantastic defensive interior. I think Leonard Williams fell to them there too a couple years back. I think Quinnen Williams, sky's the limit for him. In year one, I think he can do great things.
Yeah, my Jets over there at pick 3, they grabbed the best player on the board. It was Quinnen Williams. You had Quinnen and Nick Bosa as the two blue chip type of defensive players. Quinnen was a great fit there. He can get after the quarterback. We saw that last year with the highest grade we've ever given any interior defensive lineman, tied for the national lead in pass rush grade and led in run defense grade. So he's just got a great feel for playing the run, great agility, uses his hands extremely well. Only 1 year of production in Alabama because he's playing in that pipeline of defensive linemen. But he's the best one that's come out over these last few years. Really incredible what he did last season.
Oh, for sure. And everyone loved him in the pre-draft process, and the grades loved him too. Highest graded overall defender in 2018. He's highest graded defensive interior in the PFF college era. This guy earned very high grades. Excited to see him progress in New York. Staying in the Big Apple, Sam Darnold, quarterback entering year 2, graded extremely well towards the end of last season. You have to hope he gets better with a Le'Veon Bell, Robbie Anderson, that connection gets better. We could see him taking the next step and landing on the list in the future.
Yeah, a lot of the year 1 QB evaluation, I think you have to revert back to what happened in college. You have to go back, and it's a different game, but college evaluation matters. And Darnold was number 2 on our QB draft board behind Baker Mayfield. We saw Baker make that smooth transition. He's already sitting atop this list that we've already put out, the best under 25. But Darnold has a chance to be that next guy. He was solid down the stretch, as you said. He still has that short, intermediate accuracy that does work well at the NFL level. He's got to get more consistent throwing the ball down the field, playing under pressure. And he, like the other rookie quarterbacks besides Baker Mayfield, had a terrible situation with offensive line, guys outside of Robbie Anderson not really doing the job. So when they start to build around Darnold and some of those other poor rookies like Josh Allen and Josh Rosen, when those guys get a better situation, we'll see better play from them, and that's why we revert back to Darnold was our number 2 quarterback behind Baker and expect him to be on this list in the future.
You have to hope he has that natural development going into year 2, plays better with Robbie Anderson, and they involve Le'Veon Bell in the passing game. He has to ease that situation for him, which was admittedly a bad situation for Darnold in year 1. Well, there you have it. Those are 5 guys on the list in the article that's currently on the site. Go to the site to see the full article, and while you're there, go ahead and subscribe to Edge or Elite to get all the advanced stats and grades we speak to. This has been Steve Palazzolo and Austin Gayle.